Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris and this is Restoration and Rescue. So last week we came in and we put our downpipes in. We were gonna take it out for a ride, however, the weather was not cooperating. Today, it is beautiful. It is about 65 degrees right now. We are ready for a ride. I'm almost ready to take off the sweatshirt and start rocking again in shorts and a t-shirt. But what we are gonna do first, we have bought more exhaust pipes. We're gonna work on getting those on. We have some hangers. We're gonna put that on, which you might not see a lot of, but we are gonna get working on that. We're gonna get the truck outside. We're gonna get panels on in here, start getting stuff scuffed up, getting stuff ready to go outside. And by outside, I mean in the paint booth. So I'm hoping the next few weeks, I'm gonna start getting this thing back into color. The color will be on, then we can do clear, and then we're in the home stretch. We're also gonna take care of some ins and outs inside the truck today. So I have the gauge cluster. I might start working on getting that to where it needs to be in the truck and getting it painted. So I need to do actually first is prime the outside edge and paint it. Now I'm not gonna whip out the paint gun for that. I did buy some spray can for that as well. We also have a couple more things interior that need to be painted and put together, but we are coming down the home stretch, at least for the interior of the truck. And that's really exciting because we are running out of days again. Now, before we get to anything, I have a pretty cool story about the cab of this truck. So when we were cleaning it 2.5, 3 years ago, I found a car registration. Now, I located the owner. So a couple years ago, I had a completely different job. Didn't know where I was gonna end up after the job that I had. I was still working it, still fine with it, but we changed jobs. So when I changed jobs, I have new coworkers, obviously. So the other day, I found a phone number for the gentleman who owned the vehicle before this. And this is this cab and the frame that is sitting out back. And what did we find? Well, spoke to the gentleman and he purchased it in 1965. He owned the truck for many years until about 2012 in that range and sold the truck. He did say that it had rotted away on him and he just didn't have the time and effort anymore of keeping the truck up. So he also told me the engine that's on that frame is not the original straight six, but a straight six out of a 70s or late 60s model. I believe it was out of the 68, but it still works with that truck and everything because he had a leak on the back of the engine and he, instead of just fixing the leak, replaced the engine. Not a big deal. But now we come to 2025. I am now working at a new location. I was talking to my coworker, and now this truck came from a county way out of Richmond. I am in Richmond, Virginia. This truck came from Drake's Branch, Virginia, and that is where it was registered in 1965 through 1985 for the least that I can see with the car registration I have. Well, I called the guy. We talked on the phone for about 30 minutes, and come to find out, living here in Richmond, my coworker knows him. What a small world it is, but that was not just the end of the story. He went to school with his daughter of the owner of this truck. So it is a really, really small world out here, even though we're about 80 miles away from where this truck was originally. So he had ended up selling it for the bed, and the bed went to another person, which it was a fleet side truck. That person ended up selling it for a hood because they had an accident. So they sold the whole truck for a hood, and I ended up buying it for the cab. So unfortunately, his truck is going to be Frankensteined into multiple different trucks, but here it is. This is his cab, and we are going to continue working on this. Hopefully we get to show it off to him someday, but what we need to do first and foremost is start putting the exhaust back together on this thing, get this truck outside so we can get it in the paint booth soon. So the exhaust pipes are on. As you can see, it's really tough sometimes to get video down there. I had to put a strap on because the other pipe was kind of hanging down. So pop that up, tightened all the bolts, everything is ready. So I do have a lot more exhaust to go out the back. Again, I am planning on going out under the steps. That is something probably we're going to wait until the bed is on and the steps are on, which would definitely make a big factor in where the exhaust pipes have to run. So let's go ahead, get this thing started, and back it right on out of here. All right, so she is outside now, and we do have to clean out a little bit of the garage before we start working on the next project. Now, you can probably see there's a little bit of fluid coming out from under the truck. Now, I did have a heater hose kind of split. Not a big deal. We'll deal with that in a little bit. But what we need to do now is start cleaning out that garage. But I do want to tell you guys, I feel a little stupid. So all of a sudden, the truck is running, and then it starts dogging it. Like missing a cylinder sounds absolutely horrible. So I decide that I am going to pull a valve cover and make sure I didn't wipe a cam. All the spark plug wires look fine. Everything's okay. So end up doing that. Everything is fine. Get it all back together. Try and start it. Now it won't start. So get a little worried. Look at the fuel in the truck, and I'm not getting any into the fuel filter. So try and start it again. Won't start. Go back. Put a little bit more gasoline in my tank, and it starts running perfectly again. So I just spent 45 minutes fiddling around with valve covers, taking those off, putting those back on, all to find out I ran this thing out of gas. But right now we're going to hop inside. We're going to do some sweeping, get this garage looking good again, because it is a kind of a mess. We also are going to get a new hose and get that thing clamped off and get it in the truck so I don't leak any more of this coolant all over the place. Also, we're going to top it off, get the thing back in the garage at some point, but we're going to do a couple projects for the interior, and we're going to see if maybe I can get the seat back, the upper panel in the seat into the truck. So the interior will start looking like an interior again. So we got the seats in and we got the gauge cluster in. The gauge cluster is most likely going to have to come back out anyway, but we just wanted to get everything kind of in where it needs to go and see how it looks. And now that seat looks really, really good in the truck. Now the problem here though is the bottom kind of got dirty, and there is a small hole in the seat cover where it got caught with a little bit of weld. Not a big deal, we'll live with it. Maybe just paint over it with some interior paint of the brown, like a leather paint, and get that squared away. But the truck is running really nice now. Everything is coming along really, really nice. I also went and put up our gas lines with some new hardware, so that's good to go. The old metal line is gone, and now we are going to move inside of the garage again. So here we are. We have the last panels that need to be sprayed with the white primer, and then this truck will be ready for paint. So once this is done, we're going to put a couple coats of primer on it. So real quick, we'll shoot through some paint, get this thing cleaned up, and throw it on. Then we just have some other things that we need to do and get it all squared away. But let's go ahead, mix some paint, and start laying down some primer. All right, so we did run into a little bit of an issue with our paint gun. The cap just wouldn't seal correctly on the gun. So I ended up actually buying two new tanks. So this is going to be completely new. I got one in plastic and one like this. So we'll kind of see how that works out. Have a lot of cleaning to do up on the guns and whatnot. Get the white primer that was spraying all the way out of the cap off of everything, which shouldn't take too much time. But we have done a lot today, so it may not seem like a lot because, you know, there wasn't that many videos of us doing stuff. We got the seat in, we got the gauge cluster in, we polished it as well, if you saw that. Then we also did some other stuff while we were here, which came out really nice as well. We painted the gauge cluster, got that situated. We also did some other stuff along the way that is really going to help us. We did get it coated in primer anyway on the back. It didn't come out as great as I can. The gun was failing the whole time. But there goes some white of that paint that's still stuck in the gun, which that is going to give us a little bit of trouble right here. But we are still going to continue working on the truck today, but a lot of it may come off camera as well. We're pretty much going to be starting to prep and get ready for paint. Now, we've done a lot of stuff that we need to do as well to get ready for paint. Everything on the truck pretty much is ready except for the what we just sprayed and a little bit of scuffing. So I'm not too worried about that. That is going to be a lot of fun once that comes around. So we're excited for that. We also have a lot of stuff coming to the channel coming up. We have more electrical to do. We have windshields to put in. We have windows to put in, doors to build, and just a whole lot of stuff. So we are running out of weekends. We are running out of time before C10 Nationals. It is only March. Yet, we are worried that it is coming to an end a lot sooner than we think it is. We have a lot of weeks left and a lot of fun left to do and a lot more stuff to do on the build. So I hope you guys hang out with us and keep building with us. We'll see you guys next Saturday when we continue working on the truck.